Hey guys, Morel McCreary here. We are back to business. I own and manage and run Ramtech PC Solutions, and my guy Wade over at Carpenter and Company, he is the bean counter of all bean counters, guys. Let me tell you, James Chapman. If you have any insurance questions, James is your guy. His team is phenomenal. We're going to dive in today. We're going to be talking about compensation post pandemic from a small business perspective. Guys, let's dive in. What's going on? How have you recovered from pandemic situations, employees, pay, all that?
James, you want to start us off?
I can. Yeah, for sure. I always have an opinion on
You
something.
ain't for last. Just saying.
Yeah. So James Chapman, Osmond Chapman Insurance, we've got you covered. So look, fortunately here in Georgia, pandemic was not as hard on us. But look, I will tell you, pandemic, not pandemic, there's a couple of things we've tried to do as a small business. There's different ways you have to compete, right? A couple of things we've done is I come from a commission background. So I like bonus commission mindset. I just love it. Every single employee of the company here has an opportunity to bonus in some form or fashion at our company. So when you're looking at compensation, especially with all the inflation that was going on, one of the things that we did is we increased the bonus opportunity. And that's been really healthy for my crew and my team. I've showed them how to win, where to win, what helps a company win, and how that ties to bonus. And then it's tracked for them. That has been a really good tool where we've had some people pull up to an extra $4 an hour over a month, do the bonus plan. That's
Wow.
really cool, man. It's
Yeah.
really powerful. It helps drive results. It helps take care of our customers, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. It's been really good for us. The other thing we've done is we've also tied in that performance a really nice flexibility plan where people can work remote. We do a really great job of that. So up in our technology game, where you continually have the things where people can basically work anywhere. That's been extremely helpful for us. That's been a nice compensation thing. It's not for everybody, but having the option to do it, the people who are good at it and love it, they want it. They want it bad. So, like having an option where maybe, hey, it's a week on at the office, a week working remote. There's some people who really love it. I got one person who takes full advantage of that. She loves the fact of being able to be home when her kids get off the bus. That's her motivation. She loves that. And every other week, she gets the opportunity to do that. So, that's a really easy way for me to help her feel good about what she's doing and a way for the company to still do what it needs to do. The other point I'll make about just compensation, I'm just going right into it here, but the other point I'll make about compensation, as you're trying to get creative and bring up ideas, ask. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with just asking your employees,
Yeah.
hey, what's some things that you would like to see? If you had the magic wand, what would it be? I will say the last thing we are working on, we have not put it together yet. It's premature, but we're trying to figure out how we can go to keeping the same hours for our customers, but alternating where everybody in the company can go to a 4-day work week.
Wow.
Now, that's been years in the making. That's not just a snap decision. We've really been working on how everything processes through, what we need to expect from each person in terms of results, and then building out and tracking to that and keeping that accountability there so we can outline that and say, okay, it's very clear. Can you still give us the same results in less time? If you can, here's a carrot at the end of the stick. It's good for us, it's good for you. Tracking to what you expect and then making sure it's clear what's expected and how they help win and do that. I think that really comes back down to the foundation of it.
So
That's
that's a good spin on that perspective, though, because a lot of people, when they hear compensation, they're thinking of how am I getting paid? It's not only like what you touched on is how it can affect your paycheck with extra commission, right?
Mhm.
How you can give them more time because time and money you can never have enough of. So you're giving them more time back. So that's technically compensation,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want people to think when you hear compensation, you got to be shelling out dollars to have it make sense. That's not the case. I
Mhm.
want people to understand like compensation meaning what benefits packages or what offerings can we provide you to be the best employee you can be.
Yeah. Main thing you can do is once it's decided, state it clearly and then actually hold to it. I've been guilty of this a million times where I'll talk about something And then so I was like, oh, that would be great. We'd love to have that here or whatever. And then I'll stick to it. Like I used to bring him breakfast every Monday morning. And then I got out of the habit. And then it would be every other week and then once a month. And it just went away. Right. I didn't stick to it. Whatever you're going to do, stick to it. Because I can tell you, if you tell your people that's going to be the case, they're expecting it.
Oh,
So
facts.
don't just say things.
Don't
But
waver.
yeah, absolutely. But even me personally, now I don't so much focus. I want to make more money without doubt. I focus more now though on the fact that I'm working 60 hours a week as what can I do to get to under 50? If I can get under 50, that'd be a game changer for me. That's my number one goal right now. So the time is also money.
Yeah.
Wade, how about you?
Yeah, James hit a few of my points I was going to make.
He always does, man.
He does. We tried to hire somebody in the middle of COVID. We also hired somebody about 4 months ago, just getting slightly past COVID. I know you guys have probably hired some more people since then, but during COVID, the worker pool was not there. Even 4 months ago, we still had very slim pickings. So I've heard it's getting better. I think it was better probably 4 months ago, but the worker pool out there, I think, has changed. And there's a lot of people that are doing what they call the gig economy, that go pick up grocery for Instacart or something and deliver,
Right.
go drive for Uber or something like that. But there's a lot of changes that have come out of COVID. I think that just people doing Zoom meetings has gone to extremes when it comes to hiring people because things like Indeed, the expectation now is we're going to do a virtual interview.
Oh, yeah.
15 years ago, we used to do group interviews and we would get 8 people in the room and do 8 at a time, and people would show up for that. And 4 months ago, we tried to do that and we gave up on the group part because getting people to show up in person, I just asked my office manager this. We both agreed it was about 5% of the people that booked an appointment with us to come in actually showed up.
Wow.
Actually really want to do the virtual interviews.
Yep.
And whether it's a lot of people want to be remote workers or hybrid office or part work from home, part work in the office. And I think it's changed a lot of the dynamics.
I will tell you, we just came off of a hiring spin, and I agree 100% with what you're saying, Wade. We use Indeed for that hiring process. We saw that Indeed was heavily pushing a virtual interview. So we did it. We did the virtual interview. It's like our speed dating interview, right? For the candidates we wanted to meet in person, we invited them to come in person. So I still feel like there's value in the in person because you can read people a little bit better and determine if they're going to fit in your mold of your office. But yeah, they're definitely pushing the virtual interviews like crazy.
And there's definitely value in that. And I agree that quickly spend some time going through just asking a few questions and actually did this is the job video.
Mhm.
So we didn't have to go through all that during the meeting, but things like that for some people, we're having to give them a reason to come back to the office because so many people want to work from home now.
We're seeing a mixed bag of that. The recent hires that we just pulled in, they were itching to go to an office. They want to be in an office environment and work and feed off one another. The nature of our business is IT, so everything's a team for us, right? If we're not chatting in collaboration on a customer's project or even just working together as a team in person is different than you've got some virtual workers doing their thing. But yeah, some of the recent people we've interviewed and hired were itching to get back into an office.
Yeah, we fared well with that. Anybody in the company can have options to earn flex work. Almost everyone does. It's rare somebody doesn't own the flex work option. It's surprising how few take advantage of it seriously.
They earn flex work. Explain that for me.
So we have our monthly reporting. The same thing earns you bonus, earns you flex work. So that's it's twofold. If you miss it for the month, then you lose your next 2 turns of flex work.
I like that approach.
Hey, I'm all about, I want to look and build an amazing place that constantly lifts up our people. Reciprocating relationship, you just don't get it just because it's a week. There's plenty of things you get here just because you're here and you have a pulse.
Right.
That's not one of them.
Right.
So I'm constantly looking for ways to justify things. You want more money? Justify it. You want a bonus? Justify it. You want flex work? Justified. You want a pat on the back, me to praise you to everybody? Freaking justified. I'll do it. I'll do it in a heartbeat. I'll come out there freaking clapping hands, doing little tap dances for you. Justified, man. And I will praise you. I promise.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, Wade, do you feel like small businesses are coming back to the office or doing more hybrid?
I think they're definitely doing a lot more hybrid. And my wife, who worked in banking for 30 years, her job went virtual and she's completely remote.
Wow.
There's a lot of things like that. And even the people that work in accounting now, they want to be remote. So in my industry, that causes challenges because I have thoughts of got to protect confidential information. So it's more of a challenge for my industry probably than maybe the two of you. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I know a lot of people in CPA firms, at least, some of my friends that own firms have actually closed their offices and gone completely virtual.
Yeah, we're seeing a definite mix, but here lately, within the past few months, we've noticed that a lot of our businesses that we support are bringing their employees back in full time. They're seeing some resistance with that too. A lot of employees don't want to come back to the office. So there's your candidate pool being refilled
Yeah.
because they're looking for that work from home opportunity, or you got a work from home opportunity that's tired of working from home and they want to be back in an office. So I definitely feel like this is the new trend, a new wave of employees and candidates in the market looking for jobs right now. Now, we touched on pay. Let's talk about pay for a little bit, right? Of course, we saw inflation with everything from milk to eggs to people buying their own chickens and having chicken and eggs and trying to figure out which one came first. And you got that inflation piece, right? So when I got into IT, the pay scale was at its highest point, right? Because that was a sought after job. And then once the market got flooded, it just tailed off. Now, what I'm seeing in the IT industry is you're paying an upper crust for some talent that has some skill set, but there's still people out there that are just transitioning to IT or leaving one completely opposite industry coming into IT, trying to get their start in this later on in life. So I'm seeing a lot of late life career switching. So that's a challenge for us too, is we're looking at, man, this guy looks really good on paper, or this girl looks really good on paper. Let's give them a shot. But we don't have time to cultivate and train like we used to. So we have to pick up the ball and run, whereas before we couldn't do that. So all that to say is upper crust costs upper crust money.
Yeah.
Top shelf tequila costs top shelf tequila.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm in a different position though. So more the route we have went, there's definitely areas where we hire people with prior experience. And as the company's grown, I've found more of a need for that at times. Our focus has been more on entry level.
Mm.
And with that, okay, we custom build each person to what we want. We custom build them to our standard. The thing is though, you better have it dialed in. That worked well for me for a while, but then I started realizing as we've grown, and I haven't personally been as hands on with it every time. You better have a dialed in training program, dialed in,
Oh, for
very
sure.
clear. And I didn't. And I'm not personally doing it now. I'm not involved day to day. Hell, I might not speak to somebody for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? They're not getting that same touch. I can't analyze them. And then when I do see them, it's just a quick talk. That training program better be outlined. It better be clear. It better be concise, or that whole plan doesn't work. So we've tightened that up a lot, to the expectations, to the reviews on it, to the analyzing what they've done, because for us, it's been really good to bring in people with no prior experience. We look for those core values that we admire, and that's what we hire to. I have the luxury of that. I think I get more of a luxury of that than you guys do, for sure.
Well, from my perspective, that's the way I love to bring people into my businesses, and
Dream.
had some great success with that over the years. But
Okay.
I have also had some issues in the last couple of years finding those people. And I was reading some studies when we started talking about this topic, and they were talking about like the Generation Z, especially post pandemic. They weren't around a lot of people, so the in person social skills are not there like they used to be.
Right. See how that can definitely play a role in the small business realm for sure. So much of what we do is either on phone or on video, but I'm a people person in an industry full of introverts. So it doesn't take a whole lot to stand out and be different.
Yeah.
But you start thinking about the next wave of generations about to enter this workforce. that went through this pandemic that had zero communication for 2 years. My wife's in education and she sees it now in elementary, early childhood education, with that 2 year gap where they were not communicating with people or not socializing or hanging out with friends at their houses. It's been detrimental to these kids' development.
Here's the other side of the coin to that, to me, and I'm by no means an expert, but think about it. People have complained about teenagers and coming into the workforce for as long as since I remember being a teenager.
I was a
right?
teenager.
But most people talk about the issue there, right?
Right.
But then you look at a Chick-fil-A. It's not about the issue, man. They've leveraged that, right? And you go, well, that's Chick-fil-A. Well, great. You're not having to create it from scratch. Somebody's already doing it and they're doing it well. So good. It can be done on a smaller scale. You talk about getting comfortable with people. This is an extreme example. But I can tell you, it wasn't that long ago. I can remember being in basic training at Fort Benning. And the first day, everything, they were just rattling us on. None of these guys knew each other. It was 48 of us in the barracks. And they said, it's time for showers. Get ready for showers. Strip down, be in a towel, and they had what they called toe to line. It was a big rectangle. You had to be toe to line, standing there in your towel, nothing else. And you got 45 seconds. They were just messing with us, right? Everything was timed. So literally everybody's like stripping down. You jump up to the line, and this towel, specifically designed, I know it, barely was enough to wrap around your waist. Barely enough. You couldn't tuck it in like the nice towels at home. Took too long. The last guy showed up, he's like, too long. Everybody dropped, started doing push-ups. So, of course, we started doing push-ups, and every single person's towel falls off. So there's 48 guys in that room doing push-ups.
No towel.
Naked. Nothing, right? Let me tell you, it didn't take long for us to get comfortable with each other, right? Like, we got really comfortable with each other really fast. If you had a rash somewhere, it was no big deal to say, hey, man, what's that rash, right? So my point to you is I'm not advocating that kind of culture in your company.
Put everybody in towels.
Yeah. But my point is it doesn't take long if you're focused on it to get people where they communicate with each other. They have to work through it. It's some level of uncomfortability. You
That's
get them
true.
through the uncomfortability, they get comfortable.
True.
Like you take teenagers and you mold them and you believe in them, and then you have great people at Chick-fil-A, right? They have a company built on that, multi-billion-dollar company. So there's levels we can do stuff, all of us, to make it better.
Well, I can't think of a finer note to close.
That's
a finer image to close.
Morel's telling me to.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for having visuals of James's story. This is Back to Business. I hope you picked up a few nuggets. Be sure to like, subscribe, and repost and reshare this video. Thanks again.